we are going to discuss about the blood supply and hypothalamus control of hypophysis cerebrale. We will discuss in the two parts, first the adenohypophysis, then the neurohypophysis. In the adenohypophysis, it is supplied by superior hypophyseal artery. The superior hypophyseal artery. The superior hypophyseal artery, it is a branch of the internal carotid artery. While the pars nervosa, neurohypophysis, is supplied by the inferior hypophyseal artery. This is the branch of also internal carotid artery. This is the internal carotid artery. Now the superior hypophyseal artery, after piercing the pars tuberalis part of the adenohypophysis, enters into the infundibulum and the median eminence region of this neurohypophysis and divided into the first set of the capillary plexus. Here the capillary plexus. These capillary plexus are present at the infundibulum and the median eminence region. Now, there is a formation of the portal vessels. These portal vessels are known as the hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vessels, a system. Then another second set of the capillary plexus are formed, are the sinusoid. These secondary set of the capillary plexus are present in the adenohypophysis. It should be clear there are two sets of the capillary, first and the second. First is present at the infundibulum and the median eminence region, while the second capillary set it is present inside the adenohypophysis. Now these portal vessels, these are the long plus intermediate portal vessels that connects the two capillary set of the plexus. And this system is known as the hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system. Now, in the second set of the capillary plexus, there are secretory cells are present in the adenohypophysis part. These are the secretory cells. Now, this anterior lobe, adenohypophysis, is controlled by a nerve fibers that is known as the tuberoinfundibular tract. These tracts, the fibers arise from the nucleus, that is the nucleus of the hypothalamus known as the arcuate nucleus. This arcuate nucleus gives fibers and these fibers terminate at the first set of the capillary plexus. Now what is the function of this tract? This tract brings the hormone releasing plus hormone inhibiting factors. These nucleus release the hormone releasing or the hormone inhibiting factors. For example, that is the TRH, thyrotropin releasing hormone, CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormones, GHRH, GIRH. These are the hormone releasing or inhibiting factors. R means releasing, while the I it is the inhibiting factors. These factors are secreted by this nucleus. With proper response, these factors comes out through the fibers to these terminal ends, enters into the venous system, and then they reach this system, second set of the capillaries, and they stimulate these secretory cells for the secretion of the hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. For example, growth hormone. Then it is the gonadotropin hormone, that is the FSH-LH. As a result of these factors, these hormones are released. The thyrotropin releasing hormones is stimulate the thyroid hormone, acts on the thyroid gland. So this adenohypophysis is controlled by this tract, and these tracts carry these hormone releasing and the hormone inhibiting factors, and these factors enters into the blood system, and through blood system they stimulate the secretory cells of the anterior lobe, and these hormones ultimately, these veins drains into these are the veins that ultimately drains into the cavernous sinus and the anterior and the posterior intercavernous sinus, and through this venous system these hormones reach the affecting gland. Now, in case of the neurohypophysis, there are two nucleus of the hypothalamus. One is the paraventricular nucleus and the second is the supraoptic nucleus. This nucleus gives the fibers. This is the unmyelinated fibers, unmyelinated nerve fibers. And these fibers terminates in the neurohypophysis. Near the terminations, these fibers are dilated and form a structure that is known as the herring body. That is the herring body. This herring body function as the store the hormone formed and secreted by these two nucleus. For example, this supraoptic nucleus, it synthesizes the vasopressin, or antidiuretic hormone. It is synthesized by the supraoptic nucleus, while this paraventricular nucleus, it synthesizes oxytocin. Oxytocin means this neurohypophysis does not synthesize any hormones. The function is only store these hormones. These hormones are synthesized at that nucleus and they are travels through this tract and stored in the herring body. With proper stimulations, these hormones are released from this herring body and they enters into the third set of the capillary plexus, which is present in the neurohypophysis. It is the first, second, and this is the third set. And these hormones release and enters into the venous system. So the neurohypophysis function is to store these hormones, and in proper stimulation of the hypothalamus, these hormones are released and enters the blood system. This tract is known as the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tract. So there are two tracts. One is the tuberoinfundibular tract. This tuberoinfundibular tract controls the action of the adenohypophysis, while this hypothalamo-hypophyseal tract acts as a channel, passes for the convey of the hormones to the herring body. And these veins from the neurohypophysis ultimately drains into the cavernous sinus plus intercavernous sinus.